Good morning and welcome to our Employer Highlight Series today. It's one of the things that we do here at the Ohio Means Jobs Columbus Franklin County Job Center to really highlight a lot of the great employment opportunities that we have in our community. We're very excited today to have Derrick Logan from Amazon with us today. Derrick, why don't you take a couple minutes and introduce yourself, tell everybody a little about what you do, and then we can get started on the discussion about Amazon.
Yeah, sure. So excited to be participating and telling the Amazon story. Derrick Logan, Community Engagement Specialist for Amazon. I actually cover the Day node and the CMH node, the Columbus region, pretty much the largest part of Ohio. And I act as liaison between our partners and our fulfillment centers. Really out there telling the story about Amazon and providing our partners a resource back to our fulfillment center for all things Amazon.
So it sounds like you got a pretty big lift right now, right? I think it's really interesting because Amazon is definitely a word that is used in almost every household.
Yeah.
I can't think of a day where I don't have a discussion with somebody about, well, you can either watch that on Amazon Prime or you can purchase that from Amazon. So I think we're very familiar with the brand as a large space. But if you don't mind, why don't you take a couple of minutes and talk to us just a little about the history and how Amazon became what it is today, because I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Just going back to the very beginning, it has always been our mission to be Earth's most customer-centric company and Earth's best and safest employer. I think what unites Amazonians across teams and geographies is we take ownership for what we do. And that's whether we're developing new technology to improve associate or customer experience, or if we're just launching a fulfillment center. We believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion. The last 18 months, it's been a ride. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we've had massive growth. But I think it's because we believe in building a culture that's welcoming and inclusive. And that's integral to people doing their best work. I think it's essential to what we can achieve as a company. As it relates to our culture specifically, we're actively recruiting candidates through our partnerships with historically Black colleges and universities, Hispanic serving institutions, women's colleges. I mean, we have over 40,000 veterans and military spouses working at Amazon. So that just shows that we really aim to shoot at diversity, equity, and inclusion. As it relates to leadership, obviously most people know that we're a leading U.S. employer, and I think we have an important role to play in providing Amazonians access to education and training. That's one thing that we've really strove to do. Over the next 5 years, we've dedicated $700 million to provide 100,000 employees, roughly a third of the U.S. workforce with access to these training programs. We're launching, we're scaling, we're investing in skills training programs. We're going to talk a little bit about that later in our interview. And I think the safety piece is also important. That's always been a top priority at Amazon. We conduct literally thousands of safety inspections each day in our buildings. And we've made hundreds of changes as a result of COVID and as a result of employee feedback on how we can improve their well-being at work. In fact, we invested $11.5 billion, Scott, on COVID-related initiatives. So we're really striving there. And probably the last thing I would say is I would probably point out our sustainability. We're really focused on that. In 2019, we co-founded the Climate Pledge. And this was a commitment to achieve net zero carbon emissions across all of our business lines by 2040, right? It was a huge commitment. And we invited others to sign on to this pledge. And we've made a significant commitment toward reaching that goal. We're moving towards an all-electric vehicle fleet as a part of that pledge. So things are really happening at Amazon, and we're growing tremendously in the Columbus market.
A couple of things that you mentioned that I think is extremely important and relevant, in particular in our market, is that idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Mhm.
Being a welcoming organization, having a safe place to go. Because you're right, we've all experienced so much change in our daily lives in
Yeah,
the
we have.
last 2 years. We talk about it in our office on a daily basis of, remember, February 2020 and what work was like. And it's hard to sometimes harken back to those days. But knowing that as an organization, Amazon's invested, in the billions in employee safety based off COVID protocols and everything, I think is really important. I think one of the things that it's really good to help explain to everyone is what type of individuals are you looking for when you're recruiting? Like, what are those characteristics in a really good candidate that would make them a likely Amazon employee?
Yeah, very good question. We're looking for individuals who can thrive in a fast-paced environment at our fulfillment centers. Associates there will pick, they'll pack, they'll ship customers' orders, and then they'll address those orders in a time-efficient and accurate way. Cognitively, I think I get that question quite a bit. It's important that associates are simply willing to learn. Because we don't require special skills, Scott. We don't require degrees. We don't require, at that tier 1 level, resumes to apply. These things are often barriers. And so we practice a no barrier workplace. All the skills necessary when you come on board at Amazon to succeed will be provided when you arrive on site. So, and that's the most important aspect. I'd say the second would be attitude. Amazon can take associates wherever they want to go, Scott. Hiring and developing the best is one of our leadership principles. It's a guiding principle at Amazon. And we're striving to be Earth's best employer. And so the only thing that's impossible with Amazon are things that are possible. And so that's the only possible and the most focused idea is having excellent people. If an associate is ready and willing, we're excited to have them join the team.
Excellent. And, you teased it earlier and you just teased it again. So let's go ahead and talk about that professional development piece, because, for most individuals, they want to hire in with an organization where they can grow, where they can see their career move forward, where they can adjust and focus on things that are really important to them with priorities. And so how does Amazon handle that?
Yeah, again, really good question. Professional development is a key factor at Amazon. We recognize that Amazon is a leader who can help innovate and grow. We strive to maintain an environment where people can learn, where they can adapt, where they can excel. We made a $1.2 billion commitment to upskilling our employees by investing in some free skills training, tuition support programs. In fact, let me just talk to them. The Career Choice Program is one that's really changed in 2022. It's always been a good program, but it's changed in 2022. Amazon provides a benefit to frontline employees that pays for education in fields that will lead them to in-demand, high-paying jobs. And it doesn't matter if those skills are relevant to an Amazon career. That program, once an associate's been on board for 90 days, beginning on day 91, then they have access to that program that pays 100% tuition assistance, prepaid up to $5,250. And so no more student loans. Our associates can be confident that we're going to provide that benefit for them. Also, there's AWS Grow Your Own Talent, and it offers on-the-job training and job placement opportunities to Amazon employees and entry-level candidates with non-traditional backgrounds. And this specific training will help them pursue roles that will innovate with AWS, Amazon Web Services. Participating employees are hired into roles like data center technicians, operations technicians. Complete in-person on-the-job training is provided for up to 6 months. So that's something that's kind of growing in Amazon. I'll mention one more, Surge to IT, and this program will help entry-level IT employees across Amazon's operations pursue careers in high-paying technical roles. It helps employees develop the skills necessary to advance their career in information technology. Of course, at Amazon, we always strive to innovate. that specific program supports Amazon Robotics, picking and stowing technology. Of course, we're becoming more and more robotic across, specifically across the Columbus region. And then anyone who completes that course, they can move up and make an additional $10,000 a year after completing that program. And I'll mention two more that's relevant to Columbus. Okay, I talked about free on-the-job training earlier, and I think we talked a little bit about this, and you and I, when we were preparing for this call. There's the notion, you can't get the job without the experience, but you can't get the experience without the job, right? We've all heard that. So we've tried to address that in two key areas at Amazon. The first is our PIT certification. It's called PIT, Powered Industrial Truck Certification. So mostly all Amazon associates are trained how to drive forklifts and other heavy equipment, which is invaluable experience you can use here at Amazon or elsewhere, pursuing careers down the road in operations, logistics, or construction even. It can be utilized there, and we provide that training free of cost to all of our associates. And then there's the second one that's unique to Columbus, and that's Robotics Management Apprenticeship. So associates can learn the world of robotics, and it's a highly sought after skill within Amazon, because you can expect to see an increase in your paycheck of up to 40% if you complete that training. So, and I'm just talking about a few. There's the UX apprenticeships, and then there's others. When an associate says, hey, I don't want to work in the fulfillment center forever, maybe in operations forever, we say, okay, we still want you to stay an Amazonian. And so we'll allow them to move to workforce staffing, to IT, and various other roles that will sustain them and keep them as a part of the wide Amazonian family.
Yeah, so I'm going to be completely honest. Like with the platform that we have right now, I don't have the button where I can, hit the clapping hands like Zoom and some of the others. And like as you kept mentioning everything, I'm like, I wish I had something to give some type of reaction, because what you're talking about is essential in today's environment. We have a lot of individuals that really just want to start work. They're either tired of being at home. COVID has pushed a lot of people to really shelter in place and to not be as out in the community as they once were. And so getting back into the workplace can be a little challenging, a little overwhelming. And it sounds like you guys have the right structure to really support that in a very safe way. But now you're talking about the fact that I need a job today so I can start working in a fulfillment center and I can start earning a wage that will help me support my family, right?
Yeah.
But I don't have to stay there. I mean, the fact that you're moving towards robotics, that you're supporting, growth in IT, and it isn't all traditional educational models is empowering. For myself, I learn as much by doing as I do by reading and studying. And so the fact that you guys offer that opportunity for employees, I think is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I definitely want to lift that up and applaud you. And I think a lot of our viewers probably feel the same way about that. So we're talking about professional development and that work environment in a really big way. Another thing that is really important to a lot of individuals would be benefits. So let's talk, for a couple of minutes about the benefits that are offered at Amazon when they go into effect and that type of thing, if we could.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. As it relates to benefits, of course, most people would probably not know that Amazon offers the best benefits. It starts with onboarding. As it relates to Amazon, we make it easy to become an Amazonian. Our application process is very, very easy. We've moved much of it online to virtual steps as much as possible. Starting with the beginning process, you would just visit amazon.com/Ohio hourly jobs for the Columbus market. We have changed the model at Amazon. Here's what I mean by that. Typically, when applying for a job, you would actually go to the online, pick the job you want to work, and then you'd go to the interview, of course, and then after a long series of questions, they would offer you a contingent offer with what you're going to make and what shift you have, what shifts are available. We've changed that. So at Amazon, as soon as you land on our hiring portal, you have the opportunity to go in and select the shift you want, that's up front, and select the location you want, that's up front as well. And then so we can eliminate some of the challenges of getting to the end of the interview, working so hard to get there, and then not having the right position. So we are very transparent with the shifts that are available, with the pay that's available. If there are any incentives for that specific role, they will all be made known before the candidate even starts the experience. And that's important to us. Once you complete the application, which involves providing some information about yourself, we've removed the online assessment that often creates a lot of fallout for most organizations. Again, we're trying to encourage people to be removed from the difficult experience of finding employment. And then we offer you a contingent offer. After finishing your application, you would schedule your office hours appointment. And when you complete office hours, which is a 20-minute in-person, basically an appointment at one of our recruiting offices, the associate would bring proof of identity and employment. You don't get paid to go to office hours, but it's part of the application process. Once that 20-minute appointment is completed, where we take your badge photo, conduct a drug screen, you would just receive an email via our KNET system with instructions for your online new hire orientation. And during this session, you'll learn about what's it like to work at Amazon, workplace safety, proper attire to prepare the candidate for their first day, and then they show up for their first day. On day one, candidates receive full benefits: dental, health, comprehensive health, dental, vision, company 401 discounts, company discounts, PTO, vacation, and more. All of these are offered on day one, which is relatively unheard of. For most organizations, there's a waiting period before you can actually start receiving the benefits. But here at Amazon, whether you're a C-suite exec or tier one associates coming in, working in one of our roles, starting your career there, all receive the same benefits on day one.
Dude, again, I'm looking for this like applause emoji that I could send out, because that is huge. Love the idea of that very fluid application process as well, because as you mentioned, the transitions in technology over the years has really caused some angst among some job seekers. So the fact that you guys are doing everything you can to really streamline that, I think is incredibly important. We'll talk in a minute about how else they can apply, because you're going to be on site with us this coming Thursday,
Correct.
Which is another big deal. So we definitely want to get some interest there. Now, you did mention the drug screen. One other big question a lot of folks have: do you do any type of background checks or anything like that as part of your hiring process?
Yeah, good question. So as I mentioned before, there's no special requirements. All job skills are provided on site. There is a background screening and an oral drug test when the candidate attends their 20-minute office hours appointment. One big change in 2022, we no longer screen for marijuana. There's so many different varying laws nationwide that we just decided that it would be best if we no longer screen for that. And then as a part, I get this question a lot, Scott, and so I just want to address it with all of our listeners today. As a part of the background check, Amazon will inquire whether candidates have been convicted of a crime, or if they've been released from prison or parole in the past 7 years. That's as permitted by law, pretty standard. But we do not consider records or arrests that did not result in a conviction or deferred disposition in making employment decisions. And a criminal record does not automatically disqualify an applicant. All of the determinations are based on contents of the background check, and they're made on a case-by-case basis. So everyone is welcome to apply at Amazon. In fact, we're working with a local partner now that specializes in helping parolees get back on their feet, and we're conducting an event with them this month, actually. So, it's a part of that diversity and inclusion, right? That part of Amazon that wants to become Earth's best and safest employer.
Yeah, I was going to say you definitely sound like you're walking the walk and talking the talk the right way, because as we all know, there are always unique circumstances to every event in someone's life. So it's very, very encouraging to hear that Amazon takes that approach. So we've talked a lot about the great culture at Amazon, that, the growth opportunities, the benefits and everything. So now let's get to those details of the key positions that you're recruiting for right now. Let's take a few minutes and talk about what they are and kind of the details around those, if we could.
So when it comes to Amazon, the primary position that we're hiring for is a fulfillment center associate. While our fulfillment centers may vary in the function, we have sort centers, we have GSF, we have standard fulfillment centers. Those roles are very unique, but in the way that they're presented to our associates, they're very, very similar. And let me just describe what I'm saying. So as an Amazon associate, when you come into a fulfillment center, first of all, depending on the need, we actually place our associates depending on the need. Some of the duties may include receive and put away inventory, get customer orders ready, pack them, load boxes into trucks for shipment, use scanners to read barcodes or products, view prompts on screens and follow directions for some tasks, troubleshoot problems, operate power industrial trucks. We talked about the pit training, operate a forklift or a pallet driver, and all of our team members will need to be able to lift up to 49 pounds. They'll need to be able to push utility carts up to 60 pounds. It's a long day. We have 4-day work weeks. Well, we have a variety of schedules, but the standard schedule is a 4-day work week. And associates during that time need to be able to stand, walk, push, pull, squat, bend, and reach during shifts. They need to be able to use carts and dollies and hand trucks. I'm just thinking about all the various different ways that the positions are different but alike, right? Safety is an invaluable add at Amazon. It's important, so we always wear protective gear. All teams share their daily safety tips and stand-ups. You'll be working around moving machines, order pickers, stand-ups, forklifts, mobile carts. The activities would include standing in one place for long periods of time. And now that we're moving more so toward robotics, many of our stations are, in fact, stations where robots bring you the actual supplies for you to do your job. And so these are some of the reasons why, these are some of the descriptions that would describe the fulfillment associate position. And I'm always very forthcoming in trying to paint the picture in a most detailed way. The reasons why I think that associates absolutely love this job is because you're engaged during the entire shift. You and your team stay engaged during the entire shift. There's multiple shift options as an associate. Depending on where you work, schedules could include full-time, 40 hours, reduced time, which is 30 to 36 hours, or part-time, 20 hours or less. And all of these shifts have the option of adding additional hours if needed. Then there's shift flexibility with this position. Shifts could include overnight, morning, day, evening, weekend. But those 4-day work weeks or 3-day weekends, if you have the 4-day work week, really provides flexibility for our associates. And if you select anytime shifts, which is a new option we're providing for associates, you can work as little as 4 hours per week. Some of our students really like our anytime shifts model because they can go to school and during exam time, right, when they're taking their end of semester exams, they can work as little as 4 hours per week. Also in this role, we've made a commitment to upskill our associates. So we're not leaving people in that role forever. After 30 days, they can begin to apply and apply for promotions or other programs or other areas in the fulfillment center or even at other locations. And depending on the role and location, we're going to teach specialized skills like how to operate a press and a high capacity printer, t-shirt folding machine, how to assist with the print production process, and how to receive and process customer returns. And then the ongoing training goes on and on. But this is what it looks like to work in an Amazon fulfillment center. I do recommend, there is a link that I think provided before this meeting. It's amazon.com/Ohio hourly jobs. And there's a link there where you can actually see what it's like to work in a fulfillment center. But that's the primary position, a fulfillment center associate. And once you get on board at Amazon, the world opens up for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of other details to go with that position. Let's identify the locations, and if we could, a starting wage range for them as well.
Yeah, sure. So we have multiple locations all over Columbus. We have our west side locations, east side locations, south side locations, central locations, and all of those are currently hiring in Amazon. We just came off of peak, and so when you go to the website using the URL that I just provided, amazon.com/Ohio hourly jobs, what you'll find is that you'll see all of the positions at all of the sites. And from that point, you can select which site you prefer, and you can see the shifts at that specific site. So again, being very transparent, the option of choosing what site and the shift at that site. Also, when you visit the hiring portal, you will see the actual pay, starting pay, and up to pay for that site as well, and for that shift. And the reason why we do it that way is because some shifts that are more difficult to fill may offer a $3, $2 incentive. Some buildings that, because of the demand, we may be offering an incentive. For example, right now at some of our buildings, we're offering a $3,000 sign-on bonus and pay up to $2,180 per month. At other locations, it varies. So rather than give a specific, right now $3,000 sign-on bonus up to $2,180, you'd have to go to amazon.com/Ohio hourly jobs to see the breakdown of what sites are offering what incentives.
But that's perfect, because that will allow our potential candidates to really figure out what best fits them. Correct. And understand exactly what those pay ranges could be. So that is absolutely perfect. So,
and let me just say one other thing on that, Scott. So once you land on amazon.com/Ohio hourly jobs, that unique URL will drop you right into our Ohio job portal. And so that's important. So use that link. In the top right-hand corner, it will ask you for your zip code or your city. And if you type in your city or your zip, it will show you the jobs right around your zip or your city. So it's important. It's a very functional tool, and I would encourage everyone to use it if they want to see specifically what sites, what shifts, what's the pay, and what's the sign-on.
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things that we want to promote, we love doing these employer highlights, and we do them twice a month because of this fact. We're able to give a large dose of very valuable information about our Central Ohio employers to the community in a really effective way. But we encourage everyone to visit our website and contact us, because we're actually going to have Derrick and the team from Amazon on site in our job center this Thursday, the 13th at 11 a.m., where we can help expedite the application process. You can actually start talking to the recruiters, and you can make that connection in person. It's a nice way to do a hybrid of this virtual world and this virtual application that we would normally see and still be able to connect with someone. We also encourage anyone that's interested in any of the positions that are here in Central Ohio to come out. It isn't just about the fulfillment center position. It's about anything and everything that Amazon is hiring right now. If you want more information on that, like I said, you can visit the Facebook event. You can call our center, 614-559-5052, or just stop by and we can get you scheduled for that session on Thursday at 11 o'clock. Derrick, we also hope to have you guys participate in our core virtual hiring event that will be at the end of the month, January 27th through the 29th. So more details to come on that. I'm looking at the clock right now and we're at 10:31, and I'm thinking about all of the content and all of the great information that's been provided in 30 minutes. I can't thank you enough for being here. Do you have any parting words for the viewers right now?
I would just say that if you're in the market and you're thinking about a career, not just a job, consider Amazon. I think that telling our story today provided such a wonderful opportunity for us. And Scott, I want to thank you and your team for giving us this opportunity. And if you have any questions about Amazon, come on out to on Thursday at 11. We'll be there. My team will be there. We can answer questions for you. And I guarantee that if you give Amazon a hard look, you may be surprised, and you will be greatly benefited if you decide to join the team. Thank you, Scott, for your willingness to host us today, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Awesome, awesome. So again, if you want to meet with Derrick and the team on Thursday, feel free to call us, 614-559-5052. You can email us. It's info@omjcfc.org, or you can visit the Facebook event to get registered. We do registration for the event to make sure we keep it at a nice physical distance capacity for the room. We want to keep safety in mind, just as Derrick mentioned with everything they do at Amazon. So be sure to reach out to us to get scheduled for that event on Thursday.
Scott, just one more thing too. And as you talked about Thursday, I imagine most of our OMJ partners work with other partners in the area. We are open to coming to your facility if you have a supporting group that are looking for employment, that share the same responsibility and the same goals as we do to employ our community. We have a team standing by, ready to come to your facility to host table events, information meetings. I am your point of contact. Just let me know, get in touch with Scott. He can forward you my information, and we'll be happy to work with you and develop a onboarding plan for those who follow your organization to make sure we can employ our community. So just want to plug that.
Absolutely awesome. And that collaboration is so important. So we want to thank everybody for attending our Facebook Live event today, our Employer Highlight Series with Amazon. Again, Derrick Logan, thank you so much for being our employer representative for today. And we look forward to seeing a ton of job seekers in on Thursday for the Thursday. Thanks a lot, everybody, and have a great day.
Thanks, Scott.